Welcome in. We are the Meltdown here with yet another Laurel's List. Very exciting time as we have the one, the only Laurel Lunsford here with us to go ahead and run down her 5 options with a category that has been given. And this week, I can't think of a more topical category than Tim Burton's filmography. First and foremost, Laurel, how are you doing here on this lovely edition?
I am doing good. How are you, Tim?
I am fantastic. So happy to have you here. How did you approach this list? Because Tim Burton has a rabid fan base for sure.
He does.
And I find his filmography to be quite polarizing, to be honest. There's some things I love and some things that I'm going...
I put him in the same category as someone like Wes Anderson, who I also really like. I feel like people... And you know what? I think it's great that they have a very distinct aesthetic. They have the way that they're going to do their movies, and they have been criticized for it, and they don't care. And they said, this is my movie. This is like my creativity. This is my art, and I'm going to make it the way I want to make it. And I think that's good for them.
And I will give Tim Burton a ton of credit because he has been relevant now for my entire lifetime as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And that is a very tough thing to achieve.
A long time, yeah.
And he's gone through different phases for sure. I do feel like when Tim Burton started to discover CGI is when I started to sort of remove myself
and
from
I don't think that was so much him as much as like the companies wanting him to do that. But you know,
he made the most of those paychecks for sure.
He did.
We're going to see how many of those make Laurel's list. Let's start off with number 5. We're talking about Tim Burton directed movies. So something like Nightmare Before Christmas will not be eligible for the list. So make sure you keep your fandom at bay there and going after this list in any way. Let's start off with number 5.
I can't believe I'm saying this. What are you laughing at?
Tyler showing his Jack Supreme shirt.
There we go.
Yeah. Of course, there's a Supreme shirt.
I know
with Jack
Tyler.
on it.
I know Tyler is a Tim Burton fan. Am I right?
I am.
Okay,
I am.
good. Okay, I knew it.
I think the entire viewing public wanted both shirts to go up and Tyler go full Mardi Gras here on the stream. Anyway, let's go.
Nobody's got any beads, Tim.
Let's go with number 5.
Number 5. I can't believe I'm saying this on here, but Frankenweenie, the animated version. There is also, Tim Burton has gotten famous enough that he has remade one of his live action movies, which the original Frankenweenie was the dog that looks like the Target dog.
Correct.
And that was back in like the 80s, I think. And
that show always freaked me out as a kid watching it.
And I love the cartoon. I remember seeing it in theaters, and I do not cry often at movies, and I cried during this movie. Between the music and, I love the classic monsters. There's so many references to it. And our dog loves this movie. Our dog will sit there and watch this film. We have photographic and video proof of that.
Yep.
So had to make the list. Yeah.
Okay, has this become a tradition, or y'all just have it on?
Around Halloween, I'll have it on.
Well, she made me watch it, and so our dog just happened to be in the room because both of us were in the room, and our dog sat down and watched it.
I have a little clip that went viral on TikTok where she goes and she's like sitting and just staring at this movie. But yes, number 5, Frankenweenie.
Now, obviously, when I'm talking about CG and Tim Burton, I'm not necessarily talking about a movie like Frankenweenie. I'm talking about those live action movies that
you're talking about, like Planet of the Apes. I know what you're talking about.
Even
Alice
that feels more practical.
Alice in Wonderland?
Alice in Wonderland is definitely what I'm talking about.
I don't think there's a single practical effect in Alice in Wonderland.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Dumbo.
Or Charlie and the Chocolate
Factory.
Charlie and
Factory.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory too.
Anyway,
don't slander Gene Wilder like that.
I'm not going to do that.
All these movies make the rest of our list. It's like, sorry.
Frankenweenie at number 5, which is a bold choice because, there are double-digit number of movies you could go with.
List. I was messing around with it until the last minute, but I'm confident in my choices.
Number 4.
Number 4, Tim, you're going to like this one. Batman Returns.
Okay. Yeah, I prefer Batman 89, but I really do like Batman Returns.
I feel like you love Joker.
Riddler's my favorite
really?
Batman villain. Absolutely.
The Jim Carrey one?
I'm not talking about just a singular performance. I'm talking about character.
I would have never guessed that in a million years. I thought for sure it was Joker.
No.
I would have thought you would have been just like a big Scarecrow fan.
No, actually, I prefer Clayface over Scarecrow, and I hope we get Clayface very soon. I'm actually, kind of an astute Batman fan that sort of has a little bit of a snobby taste when it comes to some of the
that's definitely an elitist taste.
Thank you.
I do like the original Batman. I like that one a lot, but I think this one has the best Catwoman.
Oh, I agree with that.
I think everyone loves. I think between Halle Berry, who the movie is awful, but she looks fantastic. Eartha Kitt, of course, is also good, but I think people love Michelle Pfeiffer.
Hathaway too.
Now, Laurel, I'm going to get through this whole sentence. Let me pull back the curtain. You said you cried during Frankenweenie. I believe you also cried during Batman Returns. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I probably that's one of those I probably did. The Penguin.
Danny DeVito, no.
Well, the Penguin, like doesn't have, his family doesn't want him because he's ugly. He looks like a penguin. But no, I think that she has, and you know what? I think she's even talked about it. I think her outfit still fits. Like I think she's tried it on like on her Instagram, and she's like done the whip and stuff before. And I think that's just like nostalgia for people like us. So
and a lot of people, when they're going in, they're preparing themselves for Catwoman. They're preparing themselves for Danny DeVito. Christopher Walken low-key kind of steals the show at times. And you don't always remember Max Schreck right off the top of your head when you're getting ready to watch that. But is Batman Returns a Christmas movie?
Yes.
I agree.
We watched it during Christmas.
I mean, it is. Hey, trivia. Who plays Danny DeVito's dad?
Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pee Wee Herman
We have
himself.
Pee-wee.
Don't know if that'll make the list or not, but just, another Tim Burton tie in there.
Okay.
Every time I watch it, I forget about it. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Pee Wee is actually his
he's
dad.
in there for 30 seconds,
it's
but
very
I mean,
short,
it is nice to see him in that. Yeah. And some of the singular shots from Batman Returns are so good, so fantastic. So the snowy landscape there, the hello there to hell here. I love that whole busting of the lights to have a total double meaning. Batman Returns is a very strong choice for sure to have on the list. Where are we going with number 3 on Laurel's list, talking about Tim Burton's filmography?
I think this is another Christmas movie, Edward Scissorhands.
Definitely is a Christmas movie.
I love Edward Scissorhands. I know that he is probably not super favorable at the moment as much anymore, but for a period in time, I think Johnny Depp was probably up there with like the Brad Pitts and like the George Clooney's of the world as being, everyone thought he was so cute and was doing a lot of really good roles. And this is like one of the ones that I could see Timothée Chalamet. If they ever redid it, I could totally see him being in the same vibe.
Definitely.
But I love the aesthetic of it. I love Winona Ryder in it. I think it's a good movie.
There's someone here recently that it came out that they were in the running for Edward Scissorhands, and I believe it was Tom Cruise that was being discussed for that role at one point. And that would have been...
Tom Hanks and Gary Oldman turned down the part.
Oh.
According to Wikipedia.
I've heard Tom Cruise,
I
Jim
could see
Carrey,
Gary Oldman.
Tom Hanks, and William Hurt.
Fox was insistent on Burton meeting with Tom Cruise. Yeah. Burton said he talked to him.
I could not see that.
But it worked out for the best.
I feel like Johnny Depp is... I feel like Johnny Depp is probably the ultimate Tim Burton person besides Michael Keaton when you think of his movies. And Danny DeVito, I guess,
it also said Jim Carrey was considered for the role. That would have been
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter, yeah.
Weren't they married for a while?
They were.
Yeah, they were.
Johnny Depp this year came out and said he was convinced Burton wouldn't cast him in the lead since Tom Cruise was not far away from actually playing the role. And he says that is a true story. But, what can you believe from Johnny Depp these days, right? I'm kidding. Okay, let's move on to number 2 on Laurel's list.
And fitting, Beetlejuice. I love Beetlejuice. I quote it all the time to John, which I'm sure he just adores. Mm-hmm. I think of the next round's Jim Dunaway every time I watch it. I don't know if it says anything, but I think about the scene where he's trying to marry Winona Ryder there at the end.
Well, here we call him TV's Jim Dunaway, but yes, I guess other people call him
Emmy award winning Jim Dunaway.
I think it's just a funny... it's just a funny, perfect Halloween movie. This didn't make the list, but I love the new one. I don't want to say love, but I think it's in line with the original. I think it's a lot of fun. I think the practical effects are really good. And if you're a Beetlejuice fan, I think you're going to like the new one because it's very distinct if you like this movie or not. That's my take on it.
Okay, Beetlejuice there at the number 2 spot. It is all the craze right now, and it has survived really from 88 until now because it's been integrated into so much merchandise between then and
Horror
now.
Nights. We got to see the house like a few years ago, and Beetlejuice roams around. Yeah,
just your shirt
from
merchandise.
From Horror Nights. Yeah, and he roams around the park too. We've seen him several times.
He does.
Yeah.
Just did the shirt thing again. I've got to start looking at your shirt before I start mentioning things. Okay, now I low-key have been rooting for a movie to appear on Laurel's list. I hope that it gets its proper due. I don't know if it will. What is number 1 on Laurel's list? Best Tim Burton movie in your opinion?
And John, you can confess how much I love this movie. Mars Attacks.
Yes! Yes!
I love Mars Attacks.
This gets quoted daily at our
Love Mars Attacks.
I love the aliens, how they talk, the ack. I think that is so funny. I love the cast. This is such a throwback movie for me to even in the 90s, how it was kind of done in the 60s and 70s when they had so many celebrities and so many actors. And this is an A-list cast.
If I was to do a Laurel's list of 5 best actors from Mars Attacks, that would be also a very tough list.
That would
5 best performances from Mars Attacks.
And you know, we
She
talked
was
about
literally
this.
quoting Danny DeVito out in the back room before we started from Mars Attacks.
Danny DeVito reminds me of like everyone that y'all know in the poker club.
Okay, we won't get you to expound on that,
I
but
won't.
Please don't.
I'm happy Tom Jones is also in the movie.
Tom
I'm a big
Jones.
Tom
Oh,
Jones
and
fan.
Jim Brown.
Yes.
Brown, yeah.
I love Jack Nicholson and Annette Bening, Sarah Jessica Parker, Pierce Brosnan,
Jack Black is in it.
Jack
Y'all
Black,
haven't named Michael J. Fox yet.
Michael J. Fox. Yeah, so it's just got.
Martin Short. I mean, it's just a stacked
Oh
cast.
yeah, he is. Martin Short isn't it? So
He
it's
is.
just like one after the other.
Natalie Portman, did you say her?
Oh yeah, and that was right before Star Wars. Before that got really big. So
I'm
Every-
looking at the cast right now. Christina Applegate was
Yeah.
in this.
Yep.
Ray J.
Yep. Almost.
I've never seen this.
Oh, Tyler.
It's an all timer in my opinion, and I think you would enjoy the humor because it is sort of a satire.
Hey, Glenn Close. She's the president's wife.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she
She
is.
is.
She
Cruella
is.
herself.
So I
Ray J,
love.
who knew he had a career before,
Yes. I love that you have Mars Attacks on this list.
Of course.
And that makes me very, very happy.
That's the only one I knew would be on this list at number one. The rest of it, I was like, I could see you going different routes with different movies, but I knew Mars Attacks was number one.
Yeah, Mars Attacks is just one of my favorite movies ever. And
Oh, it's also got Frank Welker as the voice of the aliens. He's the voice of Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it was a stacked cast. And I will say too that
They don't
you
really talk. They just kind of go, act the entire time.
The
but
two movies you should check out that I also like that didn't make the list. I do like Sleepy Hollow. John said this movie is
Nightmare Fuel for me.
Nightmare Fuel, and Corpse Bride. I think Corpse Bride is really good too.
I wish I would have loved Sleepy Hollow, but I actually
No,
prefer the old animated cartoon.
Oh, I love the animated cartoon though.
Oh,
But,
we have watched that plenty of times.
This is more therapy for John, but it's like the bad kind of therapy where you just address your problems constantly. It's not like the therapy
It's
where you
more
actually work
rotation.
through your
So-
problems.
I like the Mr. Toad part a lot better, but I can't believe you didn't put Big Fish anywhere in there.
I honestly
It
forgot.
was shot at Auburn.
I do like Big Fish a lot, and that actually kind of made me cry also. But Big Fish is good too.
No love for Miss Peregrine's Home for
Okay, well,
Peculiar
now we're getting-
Children.
I
okay.
actually never saw that.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Ed Wood.
Ed Wood's good.
Dumbo.
Okay. Look, we're just going to start throwing movies that didn't make the list. That's the way this works.
come on.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
And we visited the dinosaurs from Pee Wee's Big Adventure in Palm Springs.
Large Marge still lives rent-free in my head. All right, that is going to do it for Laurel's list at number 5, Frankenweenie at number 4, Batman Returns at number 3, Edward Scissorhands at number 2, Beetlejuice at number 1, Mars Attacks. Would Beetlejuice be top 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would probably be right outside the top 5, honestly. I really enjoyed it. I know everyone here probably doesn't like it, but I enjoyed it.
Here's the thing. We had 4 different opinions going in and 4 different opinions coming out. Tim and I weren't fans going in. Tyler and Laurel were fans going in. Coming out, Laurel, all right, so Tim wasn't a fan, came out, really enjoyed it.
Everybody keep up with this. Take notes.
Tyler was a fan, came out, overall enjoyed it, but disappointed versus what he wanted it to be. Laurel went in, huge fan, came out, huge fan. I went in, didn't care, came out, didn't care. Like, there's literally positive, negative, negative, positive, 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 negative, negative across all 4 of us. So I guess all of that goes to say it's very middle of the road, but overall, we would say go see it and then
I think it's going to make a lot of money
make
this
your own
week.
opinion.
I think
Maybe
it's
you
gonna make
need
a lot of money.
some like Punnett squares to figure out if you'd like the movie or not.
It's the circle of opinions. That's what we are here on the Meltdown. Thank you, Laurel, for participating in
Tim.
yet another Laurel's list and bringing that here to the table for us. Speaking of the table, you can hit up the blackjack table. No, not at our retro trailer reaction for Vegas Vacation, but at our title sponsor, at MyBookie.
Go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code next round, always right there in the corner. You can get a first deposit bonus on us playing the sportsbook, playing the casino, and the live casino with real dealers that won't screw you like Wallace Shawn did in that movie. Go to mybookie.ag.
All kinds of lists, discussions, opinions, previews, promotions. It's all happening right here on the Meltdown. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing.